So how's the temperature in here? Is it a bit cold? Some people got rugs and on. There's blankets at the back if you want them. Maybe we can just turn it up a little bit. Maybe just half a degree is usually enough. It's pretty powerful air conditioning. It's good in summer. We need it. So yeah, I thought we might sing. We're called the mantra room, and we sing mantras for the whole night, but we might talk a little bit about mantras. I think that's a good idea. So mantras that we're singing here tonight, they are descending from the spiritual realm, and they originate from the original person, the supreme person, the original cause of all causes. So he's the beginning of everything. Everything is emanating from him. The material energy, everything we can see around us, the spiritual energy, including us, the sparks of life, the sparks of spiritual energy, the soul, the Atma, the Jiva Atma. He's the source of everything. He's the source of these beautiful transcendental mantras. Transcendental means they transcend this material realm. So they're actually spiritual in essence. And they descend to this spiritual realm without losing any of their potency whatsoever. They're just as potent when they arrive in this material realm, just as potent as when they left the spiritual realm. So in this modern day, it's called Kali Yuga, this age we're in. So in this modern age we're living in is known as Kali Yuga. It's the age of chaos, quarrel, and confusion. So even if you didn't realise it, you just have to turn on the evening news. Do they still have that? Yeah. Or people just check it out on their internet and their phones now. I don't know, I think probably the ratings of the news has gone down, but yeah, you can just see that it's just full, the world is full of chaos, quarrel and confusion, and it's known as the Iron Age, the age of Kali. And it's a very difficult age to live in. It's very agitating, there's very little peace here. It's very difficult for us just to live and try to live a peaceful life, yeah? I know people come here and we give everyone a form to fill out when they first come to just give us an idea of why they're coming to yoga. And most of them say they want peace. They want a calmer mind. They want to live a more harmonious life. They want to live a more peaceful life. Yeah, so it's something we're all wanting. And it's very difficult to be peaceful in this age of Kali. And so these names or qualities or glories of the Supreme are descending into this material realm, and they have a purifying effect on you, the soul, the spiritual being, the spark of life within. And they cleanse your heart and mind of so much material contamination that's been building up over lifetimes. Who knows how many lifetimes, but it builds up, continually builds up. And this contamination is from our karmic reactions, from not only this lifetime, but from previous lifetimes, our material attachments, our material desires, they're all covering us. And these desires and attachments that we have for this material realm, they're not for your benefit. Anything that's going to keep you here in this material realm is not for you, the spiritual being's benefit. So these mantras actually cleanse away these attachments and these desires and this karmic reaction, which is very powerful. And so you'll find that over time you can start to live according to your true nature as a pure soul. It's quite amazing how they work. And in the beginning, we're often not so attracted to these sounds, these mantras, When I first started, I was more interested in the philosophy. The sound, the chanting was nice, but I wasn't really that into it. And that's because in the beginning stages, when you come across these mantras, we're likened to people with jaundice. Anybody heard of jaundice here? It's a disease of the liver, yeah, you go yellow. your eyeballs go yellow and your whole skin goes yellow. And it's a disease of the liver. And one of the remedies for jaundice is, apart from Ayurvedic herbs, but in Ayurveda they give a person sugar candy. And to the person who has jaundice, it doesn't taste sweet. It's absolutely revolting. It's so bitter that they can hardly stand to eat sugar. And so that's one of the remedies, is to keep giving them sugar candy along with the herbs. And eventually, just gradually over time, they start to enjoy that taste of sugar. It starts to become sweet again to them. And when they're tasting that full sweetness of the sugar candy, then they're cured of their disease. So it's likened to us. We're covered with this material contamination, and these mantras are actually so natural for us. But we're covered by this contamination. And so we're in a diseased condition. And as these mantras cleanse away this material contamination, you find that the mantras become sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. So some people I know that have been chanting these mantras. Bajiraj, I think he's been chanting 50 years or something. Is it 50 or more? 55 years. Same mantras over and over again. And they're not like material sound vibration. They actually become sweeter and sweeter the more that they purify your heart and mind. So, he knows more than these few words. He's an intelligent man, but he's been singing these same mantras over and over again for 40, 50 years. And they're sweeter to him now than they were in the beginning. So the more we practice this mantra meditation, the sweeter it will become. So these mantras, they're all names or qualities of the Supreme Being. They have really beautiful meanings. So, there's so many different names of the Supreme. There's, Allah and Jehovah, and they have more of not such an intimate meaning. So Jehovah means all-powerful, Allah means all-compassionate. Some people refer to him as God, which is a title more than a name. But the names that we are chanting are coming down in this really wonderful line of saintly teachers originating with God himself. So they've been passed down through these powerful transcendental giants, all the way down this, it's called a parampara, or a disciplic succession. We can trace it right back. And that is where the power is. The power of these mantras, it's because it's being handed down through this great line of saintly teachers. And here we have these beautiful, very powerful mantras that have not been changed in any way. They're still just as powerful as when they were first received in this material realm. So we're very, very fortunate to be in this line of disciplic succession, so that we can have these beautiful mantras with their full potency, and they will cleanse away that material contamination, cleanse away those material desires, those material attachments. And you'll find that the more that you become cleansed, the less attached and the less desire for the world you have, because you start to get a higher taste. Once you have a higher taste, the stuff in this material world doesn't do it for you anymore. It's like, try that didn't make me happy. But when you start to feel that spiritual happiness within, that spiritual peace, that spiritual harmony, then you have a taste, for spiritual life, and it becomes more and more a part of your life. And less do these material desires enter your mind, and less do you want to try to fulfill them, because you know that they're not for your benefit. Anything that we do in this material world that's going to keep us attached to this material realm is not working in our benefit. It's keeping us here on this wheel of birth and death. It's like, those little mice that go around, those little playthings, they have those little wheels, and they're just going around and around and around and around. And that's like us. We're on this wheel of birth and death, the wheel of samsara, it's called, the wheel of birth and death. So we're continually going around and around and around. So all this material contamination keeps us going around and around and around. So the more we become purified, we're starting to make our way off this wheel of birth and death. And these names, as I was saying, they have really beautiful, very intimate meanings. So Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana, Mohana. Gopala, Govinda is the supreme protector. So we know that God will protect us through thick and thin. Whenever we need him, he's there. He's our protector. Rama means the reservoir of all pleasure. So when we're chanting these names, we get pleasure from these mantras that actually give you that reservoir of pleasure. Madana Mohana means the supreme enchanter of the soul. And then Gauranga is referring to the golden form of the Supreme, known as Lord Chaitanya, who inaugurated this Kirtan movement around about 500 years ago. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol is also referring to Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, the inaugurators of this Kirtan movement. Madana Mohana Murari. Murari means the destroyer of doubts. And the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is a really beautiful, very intimate mantra that is a transcendental love song between the soul and the Supreme Soul. So, as you see, they're very intimate names of the Supreme, because in our disciplic succession we're taught how to have an intimate relationship with God. So everybody's different, how they, their relationship with God is different. Some people worship God in awe and reverence, so it's more like he's a king, and they're worshipping him as somebody, when you worship the king, you're sort of the citizen down here and you worship the king. But with our disciplic succession, they are teaching how to have an intimate relationship, that God is your best friend, and that you can take shelter in him. You always have someone with you. You don't have to feel lonely, and you have your best friend with you everywhere you go. He's there within your heart. So these mantras, they're actually uncovering, along with that material contamination, your intimate relationship with the Supreme. And the more you chant them, the more your relationship will be uncovered. So it's like it's reignited again. It's there eternally. It's there, been there forever. It will be there forever. And in this chapter of our life, when we're in these material bodies, we've forgotten. We've forgotten about our relationship. And it's a really important thing. It actually is what makes us happy. It gives us peace. It gives us harmony. It gives us all those things that we need in life, because these are spiritual longings. You're not going to find it in the material world. There is no peace. There is no peace in this material world. So the more that we chant these mantras, the more that this relationship that's already there becomes reignited or reawakened once again. And we start to enjoy that reciprocal relationship with the Supreme. And that is known as the NICTA, for which we're always anxious. It is, it's like nectar. So I'd like to read a couple of prayers that Lord Chaitanya or Gauranga wrote when he was here 500 years ago about these mantras. I'm just going to read the first two prayers. He only wrote 8 prayers. And he did that for a reason, because sometimes when you write a lot, it's hard to find the essence in the writings. So he only wrote 8 because they are the essence. These 8 prayers are the essence of his teachings. So prayer number 1. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, the chanting, the kirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. And the second prayer. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda, Allah, Jehovah. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even any hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. But don't despair. Keep chanting and you will become very attracted to these mantras. They take over your life and it's a really wonderful thing. It's not like alcohol. If it takes over your life, there's all these really terrible side effects. These mantras, there's no terrible side effects. The effects are all wonderful. And you'll experience such transcendental happiness when you're constantly practicing this mantra meditation. So however you can, I always say in my classes, however you can get these mantras into your life, do it. Even if it's just coming to an occasional kirtan, if it's doing a little bit of japa once a week. The more regular you do it, of course, the quicker it's going to work, but some of us can't do that. I've got a lovely son. He's 29 now and he's gone through a little bit of a difficult patch lately, and I said to him, you just need to do something, a little bit of something every day, if you can. And he said, yeah, I think I do. You know, he wants to come back and practice, but he's sort of, you know, he's got to get back into a routine again and make it a part of his life. And so I gave him a half set of japa, and he hasn't done japa for about 15 years now, maybe 14 years. And anyway, he took the beads, and then about a week or two later he texted me and he said, Mum, I just did my first half round and it felt so good. You know, so he knows, even though he hasn't been practicing for a long time, he knows where he needs to come when the times are tough. And hopefully he'll apply it in his life now, and his life will take a totally different direction. He'll become much more fulfilled and happy, satisfied within. And you know, the good thing about it is the stress becomes less and less because it's like washes over you. The stress is going to be there in life, the ups and downs, but they don't get to you. It's like water off a duck's back. Have you ever seen that? It just rolls off the duck's back. It doesn't actually go in and soak the duck. The duck stays dry under those feathers. So it's like stress and worries of life will just wash over you like the water off a duck's back. So many wonderful things comes from kirtan, so just try to get them into your life somehow. There's many different ways. You could come along to a meditation workshop if you only ever come to kirtan, because we do some different types of meditation, japa, meditation on beads. You can speak to one of us and we can give you a little class during dinner even and get you on the right track for some japa. So that's it. I think that's all I've got to say. I could speak about this sort of thing all night, but I have to keep it short and sweet because I think the guys have got quite a few nice tunes to do for us. And before we move on to the kirtan, did anybody have any questions? Yes.
Can you just quickly remind me what Gauranga means again?
Gauranga is describing Lord Chaitanya, who appeared 500 years ago, and his form was like molten gold. It's a golden form. So Gaur means golden, and Anga means form. So Gauranga means golden form of the Supreme.
So we're not actually Gauranga breathing?
Yeah, we're actually referring to Lord Chaitanya or Lord Gauranga.
Golden form.
Yeah, golden form. Very beautiful,
That,
beautiful
yeah.
form. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And
That
it's
makes be more
All
special.
purifying. Yeah, it does. It makes it pretty special. Yeah.